If you are just starting out fishing, the Texas coast can feel intimidating. There's a lot of water out there. Now, catching trout is actually fairly easy, so long as you have a simple understanding of how these fish think and how they react to their environment and conditions. Let's take a look at the most important things you need to know in order to get more of these guys in the box. You know what they say about the weather in Texas. If you don't like it, wait 5 minutes. For trout, the weather is their dinner bell. Watch the tides. When it starts dropping, it's like a conveyor belt of food. Shrimp and small bait fish get pushed off those shallow grass beds into the deeper pockets where the trout are waiting to take advantage of that movement. It's an easier meal for them and an easy catch for you. When a cold front hits and the temp drops into the 60s or lower, trout get sluggish. They head for deep guts where temperatures tend to maintain balance just a little bit better. They might stop eating during the actual cold snap, but give it 2 to 3 days. Once they've been starved out by the cold and the weather begins to stabilize, they'll go on a tear. If the water is cold, slow down your retrieve. If it's warm and they're feisty, speed it up and give it some jittery movement to mimic a panicking bait fish. And keep an eye on the moon phase. If it was a bright full moon last night, those fish were feeding all night long. They've got a full belly in the morning and you'll want to wait until that early afternoon when they start getting hungry again. Finally, clarity. In crystal clear water, trout are line shy and picky. They're used to using their eyes to find food. Now, as the water clarity declines, they'll get more aggressive. We'll dig deeper into that in just a moment. For now, just know they can't see as well, so they'll be a little bit more hungry and therefore a little bit more aggressive in their search for food. Let's take a look at the locations where you are going to find the trout. You'll want to look for edges, the edge of a grass bed, the drop off of an oyster reef, or a rock pile. They sit right on that transition line, waiting for a mullet or a shrimp to wander too far from safety. If you are a surf fisherman, look for the guts. Those are the deeper channels between the sandbars. Trout patrol those like highways. Jetties and oil rigs are an obvious place to find them as well. These structures create current breaks where trout can sit out of the heavy flow and wait for the bait to come to them. The first thing you'll want to do when selecting your bait is know what they are eating, and you're going to want to match that. If there are a lot of mullets schooling, that is likely what they're going to be targeting. Maybe there are a lot of shrimp moving through the grass beds or minnows along the jetty. Your goal should be matching that bait and then make yours stand out. Next, you'll want to get in front of them in the way that they are hunting. If it is clear water, they are going to be using their vision to detect bait, and they are going to be very line shy. Subtle baits that look like they are hiding in the environment are going to catch their attention better than a loud, shiny metal lure. As the clarity declines, trout are looking more for movement, flashes, and shadows. They'll rely more on feeling movement via their lateral line, hearing splashes, and feeling jittery movement or even the bait's heartbeat, and smelling the scent of the prey that they are after. Dark lures and/or shiny lures tend to work better in these situations, as well as in deeper water. This is also why rattling baits and popping corks are so popular. The sound mimics the sound of other feeding trout and will lure them in before they ever see your bait. I recommend the We Go Fishing popping corks. They cast better than anything I've used, so you can cover a lot of ground and they make a splash that perfectly mimics the sound of a trout popping on the surface. If you are around structure and not covering a lot of ground around a grass bed, I would suggest freelining a shrimp or mullet along that structure, especially in clear conditions. Using a Carolina rig to get that bait to sit on the bottom. If you are throwing artificials, you really want to try to keep that as simple and clean as possible. Beads and baubles, wire leaders and weights on the line can scare away trout, especially if they have been caught in the past. Texas is a premier destination when it comes to sports fishing, and speckled trout is one of the most fun and rewarding species that you can find. And it's a lot easier than you might think. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I have answered every single comment for nearly 10 years, and I am happy to continue that trend for as long as I am able. Of course, I would also invite you to subscribe so that you can join my family and I on all of our family fishing adventures. We'd love to have you along, and we look forward to seeing you in that next video.